Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new, and welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a pro wrestling nature, and we do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. This is the WCW Saturday Night Edition. I am through 1989, although I have not by any means updated 1990 yet, which is what we're doing today, at least a little more of. Um, but I am through 1989, about to journey into watching 1988, which should be fun because I haven't watched 88 all the way through. I have watched all of, well, actually, never in with a critical eye, to be honest with you. The nature of the my NWA viewing from this time period is spotty at best, and so it's kind of cool to go through these things for the first time back when wrestling was actually watchable, because much of it is not these days. Anyway, 12/1/1990 is where we are, and certainly without any doubt, it's an interesting time in pro wrestling for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that in reality, it's certainly a time where Ted Turner's still kind of clueless, to be honest. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but at the same time, being that clueless in the nature of things is just an interesting place to be for a number of reasons, and certainly, that WCW run is, without a doubt, an interesting idea in a, I guess you'd say, just, Turner having bought it in November of '88, and already by the beginning or the end of 1990, they're struggling. But, you know, to be fair, I think a lot of wrestling companies or companies of people who want to do better wrestling don't really know how to, I guess you'd say, be halfway clued in, for lack of a better term, and it can get a little frustrating, a little bit. I don't even know how to explain it except to say frustrating from the nature of how to kind of go forward into a meaningful connective. Again, this is time too when Sting, who had been the heir apparent, I guess you'd say, for quite a while here, is it perfect? No, certainly not. Is it the best thing ever? No, certainly not. But he had been built up for quite a while here, and is kind of moving into a run of being the guy, even if it was only for a few months here, and that's what it ended up really being. But again, kind of moving forward, kind of getting to a. We hope it comes in a little better, but it doesn't end up being that for a number of reasons for the NWA at this point, and so certainly Sting in this particular role is here. Again, the 1st of December is where we are, and that's a couple of weeks before Starrcade. Starrcade, obviously, the biggest show of the year, and without a doubt, something that most people, I think, would be happy enough to deal with. We kind of move forward into a series of squash matches. WCW in 1990 is primarily squashes. Bob Caudle and Jim Ross getting us ready for Starrcade, getting us ready for the various squashes that exist here, and also just kind of getting us ready for a run into things. 1990, still a time when there is a bit of a struggle with the company identity, for lack of a better term, and without a doubt that continues here. We kind of go into Michael P.S. Hayes in his match there, Southern Boys are their main opponents, and Hayes and Brad Armstrong kind of going at it a little bit, kind of some back and forth, and ultimately, obviously, some basic tag outs there, and Brad Armstrong gets a couple of drop kicks. Hayes and Garvin are your freebirds for the moment, although, they're not fully in full swing yet. Brad Armstrong actually does take the majority of the match, not doing, I don't believe, the Candyman gimmick at this time, although does manage to have been doing the Candyman thing, which literally he was throwing out candy to small children. Jimmy Garvin takes the majority of the match with Brad Armstrong there. They do a lot of back and forth, and ultimately, the Rock and Roll Express, where actually Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich coming in, and Rich obviously looking a little worse for wear at this time period. They run about just under 10 minutes there. And then we go into the next in series of matches. Flying Brian Pillman. Pillman, of course, having about just about maybe a year, 2 years, something like that coming in 1986, mainly in Calgary, coming into WCW in 1989. And obviously, Dutch Mantell, Dirty Dutch Mantell, mainly known for his run in the Memphis CWA area and Puerto Rico as well, and major talent booker in the Puerto Rican area for a number of years. Pillman, though, having a good match with Mantell, worth watching out for. Very basic punch kicks and headlocks by Pillman, followed by cheating through an abdominal stretch, among other things, by none other than the good old Mr. Mantell here. Pillman, though, does manage to get the victory, although a shot into the upper chest midsection. Pillman gets the victory with the, move out of the way, then the slingshot after a crossbody. 1, 2, 3. Wrestling wrap up with Gordon Solie is here. That is super basic, and then we see Clash of the Champions highlight for the reveal of the Black Scorpion there. Sting tries to reveal him, and then we see Sting basically talking about the Black Scorpion. Scorpion promising to either defeat Sting at Starrcade for the championship or get unmasked. Sting obviously not willing to take too much backward steps as far as that's concerned. Sting still your world champion here off of the Great American Bash 1990 promise from Ric Flair. Terry Taylor out next. Terry Taylor in an enhancement match here. Decent enough as it is. Taylor, with some go-rounds, punch kick, very basic maneuvers, and ultimately keeps his actually Rip Morgan, I believe, is the opponent down. Again, very basic match, nothing to necessarily write home about. Super basic punch kick, super basic stuff, but to say the very least, Taylor is in control and managing to do everything he can do, go behind wrist lock, hammer lock, and the like super basic maneuvers along the way. We then see Taylor hit the 5-arm and get the victory. Nasty Boys out next. Nasty Boys having come in the month of October, or thereabouts, in the time period. Of course, they have about 2 years of real experience, mainly in Vern Gagne's AWA, Italian Stallion, and an enhancement talent there. They continue to work through the, very basic punch kick. Brian Knobs primarily in there a lot. Jerry Sags running his man into the canvas, and ultimately they hit the top rope, the pump handle slam, and the top rope smash, and a win with a Game Boy replay. A lot of chaos with the next VK Wall Street promo. VK Wall Street flanked by Alexander York and the York Foundation, basically saying they can come up with a win over anybody, including, in this case Lex Luger with a computer printout or a computer generated strategy. Wall Street in an enhancement match following up here, and facing Tommy Angel. Wall Street with, and he of course becomes IRS by the summer of 1991, so he's not here too long under this gimmick. I did not realize though that the Michael Wall Street gimmick had been utilized so long here. Alexander York, aka Terry Runnels, is out and trying to help. Punch kick, very basic comeback from Angel, and then we see stock market crash after a vertical suplex. And needless to say, boom, boom, there you go. Stock market crashes, a Samoan drop, very basic match there. Then we go to the Z-Man Tom Zink in an enhancement match here. Tom Zink basically having been off of his run. I believe Mark Kyle is his opponent here, but a monkey flip among other things, top rope crossbody and a 1-2-3. And top rope drop kick from the nature of the Z-Man in control and getting a victory there. Then we go to the Madman, Motor City Madman, and one of the Master Blasters in an enhancement match here. Actually, no, Mr. Hughes, although Master Blaster is with Nash, aka Motor City Madman earlier. Mr. Hughes, though, Big Cat Hughes. Hughes doing a heel gimmick at the time in 1990, not really having much going on, and blue tights and punch kick and a victory for Hughes. Hughes here had certainly not found his greater good place to be. Then we go to the tag team of Doom. Doom, of course, Butch Reed, Ron Simmons. They are without their mask. Tracy Wren and Rob Morgan are the enhancement talent opponents for them. At this point, Doom kind of losing a bit of steam, having been a major team. The masks are off, though, and Simmons and Reed are punch kicking their way into victories, but not by much of a stretch of imagination, as it were. And ultimately, they take a pretty demure view of things there. Then we see, a takedown and a chokeout, and Simmons in complete control victory there. Flair out in the limo, having gotten things a bit out of control. The team of Doom basically saying they're going to take care of the Horsemen once and for all, and they vandalized the Horsemen's car. Ricky Morton in an enhancement match here. Morton without his tag team partner, which Ricky Morton in 1990 not exactly looking to be in the best of situations there. But, an enhancement match for Ricky Morton probably can get more time out of just about anybody, and George South. And actually, it's Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich, so they are doing the old school thing there, kind of the tag thing. Gibson had been out of the area for a while, I believe knee injury or something like that at the time. But anyway, basic enhancement match here. Neither guy really getting a major run there. Interference, though, or at least threat of, by the Freebirds and Morton and Rich. Sounds like a fun program that I don't ever think fully materialized. Then we kind of see the continued runaround with Tommy Rich against, I believe, Tommy Lane's one of the enhancement talents here. Trying to get an advantage to the quickest of their ability. Doesn't get everything they want there. Then we see Sid and Dan Spivey, otherwise known as the Skyscrapers. They are the main new tag team of one Teddy Long. Sid and the Skyscrapers, a pretty big deal. Skyscrapers in an enhancement match, and Sid gets a quick power bomb, literally 3-minute match. Nothing to write home about, but the Skyscrapers were a monster tag team at the time. Then we go to the continuation of Beatdown, Junkyard Dog, and or Mr. Hughes and the Motor City Machine Gun beating up against Lex Luger. Vader comes in. Vader in a rare babyface run there. Luger already having trouble with Mr. Hughes. Hughes, though, not exactly the bodyguard that he would become to Luger later. It's just kind of interesting to see that they have the run that they have later as teammates. With 5 minutes remaining in the program, we go to the final match of the day. That ends up being Sting, who is the world champion, kind of talking around things in an enhancement style match here. Basically trying to talk Barry Horowitz out of his match, and ultimately Sting kind of going at it, and Sting gets an enhancement match victory over Horowitz himself, and ultimately, punch kick, stinger splash, and the Scorpion Deathlock to close the program. Sting is a couple of weeks away from the biggest match of his career, Starrcade 90, of course, against the Black Scorpion, and that will close us off from here. We'll be back with more right after this.